Dragon Ballers, if you're looking to buy Dragon Ball Super or One Piece sealed product, make sure to get 5% off using my link to Mystic TCG down in the description. You can also sell cards to them using their Facebook link, which is also down in the description. Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're getting back into set 20 Power Absorb reveals, and today we're talking about the Red Universe 3 archetype coming out in the set. And it is just super funny that this super niche group of characters is even getting their own archetype. Dragon Ball's done this in the past, of course, but like it's always super funny to see it. Now, I did take a look, and there are no other Red Universe 3 cards in the game. So sometimes when we get like universal survival cards and archetypes, you can look back like older draft boxes and see if like that specific universe archetype has had different cards in different colors in the past. This archetype has never had a red card. They've pretty much mostly had some black cards, a lot of which are actually banned, funnily enough. But yeah, so there are a few like black cards you can play from some older draft boxes, like maybe the Catapestle stuff. But we're gonna have to take a look and see if any of the effects in this archetype are not color locked. That's basically gonna be our thing we're checking for. But anyways, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. And if you guys do want to help support the channel, there's a very free way to do so. If you're gonna buy any trading cards, make sure you use my link in the description to TCG Player. Really does help me out, comes at no additional cost to you, and I really do appreciate it. Anyways, let's jump right on in. Of course, starting with the leader, we have Pepperoni. On the front side with card attacks, draw 1, awaken when released at 4 or less, or 1 or more Koitsukai, Panchea, and Bullerator cards, all red, are in your energy, Z energy, battle area, and or drop. Draw 1 card, untap energy, and take life down to 6. I'm pretty sure it's the same exact awaken condition that the yellow Bardock's crew leader has. Obviously, just, you know, counting its own Bardock's crew characters. But yeah, same thing here of having the different characters in all the different areas. Then you can awaken. Then we have Warriors of Universe 3 united as one. So this leader is no longer Pepperoni. It's actually just called Warriors of Universe 3. Very similar to the red stuff for Universe 7 that we'll talk about probably in tomorrow's video. But anyways, we have auto and card attacks. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Add up to 1 red U3 card among to your hand. Then shuffle your deck. That's not like particularly amazing. I mean, you can obviously search through your archetype, but one thing that is worth noting with this type of effect, normally this is like the type of effect you see on a backside leader, but to be on the awakened side, this might actually give you reason to play the Universe 3 super combo, of which there is one. I didn't include it in this video because I usually never include archetype based super combos because they're usually not the right ones to play. But in this deck, you might want to play that super combo because it is highly searchable on your awakened side, which you will be on most of the game. Activate main for a red. If your life's at 3 or less, you have 4 or more energy. You send 1 Koitsukai, 1 Panchea, and 1 Bullerator card, all red, from your drop to your warp. Play up to 1 red Koitsukai with an energy cost of 4 from your deck or drop. Shuffle your deck if you look through it, and negate this skill for the game. So you basically get a one-time chance to get into your boss card engine, which the Koitsukai is kind of like halfway into your boss engine, but at least for 1 energy, you can get there, which is a nice way to make recovery if your opponent is, you know, dealing with your board adequately. Alright, so now we have the 1-drop version of all the little droids. We have Koitsukai, Warrior of Universe 3. We have a 1-drop 4K, Unit Absorb, Limit 1 for a red. If your leader is a red U3 card, you choose 1 Panchea and Bullerator, both red from your hand, battle area, and or drop, and place them under this card. Play 1 red Koitsukai with energy cost of 4 from your deck or drop on top of this card. Shuffle your deck if you look through it. It's always nice when the thing grabs from the deck or drop. That's always a really nice thing, as well as the Unit Absorb also pulling from your drop. So you don't specifically have to have them all on board. You can also have them in your hand, which is not the most value way to do it, but it is a possibility. And then auto limit 1, if your leader is a red U3 card, when this card's played from your hand, add up to 1 Panchea or Bullerator, both red energy cost of 1 from your deck to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So very cool thing here, you can just search the ones you're missing. This is also pretty similar to the general Rildo archetype as well. I'm pretty sure that stuff also just like plays limit absorb, unit absorbs, and also searches things from the deck. So very similar in that regard. Panchea, Warrior of Universe 3. We have permanent. While this card's under an Anilaza or Koitsukai card, both red and in your battle area, the card above it gains plus 5,000 power. And then same auto, when it's played, you can search Koitsukai or Bullerator. Then we have the 1-drop Bullerator, Warrior of Universe 3. We have permanent. While this card's under an Anilaza or Koitsukai card, both red in your battle area, the card above it gains plus 5k. I do wish there was some slightly different permanents going on here, but it will make your battle card rather big, so that's not the worst thing ever. And then we have the same on play. You can search Panchea or Koitsukai, whatever you're missing. So I do like that all these different things just end up searching each other out. So that's probably going to be very useful for 1, getting awakened, and for 2, just making sure your Unit Absorb is consistent. Like with, you know, 4 of each of these in your deck, that's 12 copies. That's a very consistent turn 1, turn 2 awaken / also go into your Unit Absorb. Pretty good there. Now we have all the 3-drop versions of the cards. We have Koitsukai Team Attacker, 3-drop 10k permanent for each U3 card in your energy. Reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. They all share that permanent. Then we have Auto Limit 1. When this card's played, look at top 5 cards of your deck, add up to 1 red U3 card equivalent to your hand, and shuffle your deck. Auto Limit 1. When this card is placed from your hand or drop under any Laza or Koichirator card, both red in your battle area, choose one of your opponent's battle cards. It gets minus 10k for the turn. Being a 10k battle card is honestly not great, but again, you're kind of just looking at this as a 1-drop cantrip, so being 10k for a cantrip is not the worst, but it's not going to be great, at least for being aggressive with it. Then we have Panchea Team Attacker, 3-drop 10k, same permanent. Auto Limit 1. When this card's played, draw 1, and Auto Limit 1. When this card's placed from your hand or drop under any Laza or Koichirator card, both red in your battle area, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and gets minus 10k for the turn. And then we have Bullerator Team Attacker. We have a 3-drop counter attack limit 1. Negate the attack, play this card, and it gains blocker for the turn. And it is a 1-drop, so that is a sort of blocker negate that doesn't have to take a life, although it's not free like a lot of other decks have, specifically Reds and Shenron, but we take what we can get. Auto Limit 1. When this card is placed from your hand or drop under any Laza or Koichirator card, both red in your battle area, choose one of your opponent's battle cards. It gets minus 10k for the turn. So I'm pretty sure the majority of the time, a lot of these are going to go under in the same turn, if not at the same time. So that is minus 30k on a battle card, and I think there's also more effects that also allow you to take these guys from your drop and put them under your characters. So that might also allow you to recycle those effects. I know minus 10k doesn't seem great. Obviously, it's okay for picking off 1-drops, but if you can load these things under your anti-Lazas like several times per turn, then you're actually getting big minuses on a lot of different battle cards. Alright, so finally we're into the Koichirator cards. Plan X activation. 4-drop 15k deflect. Auto when this card's played. Play up to 1 red U3 energy cost of 1 from your hand or drop in rest mode. That should also be able to play any of the 3-drops we just read, considering they reduce their own cost in the hand. And then activate main limit 1. If your leader is a red U3 card, there are 1 or more Koitsukai, Panchea, and Bullerator cards, all red in your energy, Z energy, battle area, and drop. And your opponent has 2 or more energy. Play this card from your hand and place up to 1 red U3 card with energy cost of 3 or less from your drop under this card. So there's the way that we're going to be able to get different cards under this thing to get the minus 10Ks if we want, but also we want to be stacking the ones that also give this guy additional power just so he hits bigger. Like you can potentially hit with this guy for 25k if you have the correct materials underneath it. Then we have Koichirator, the Masterwork. We have 2-drop, 2Z energy. We have unique Z stack 1, a red anti-Laza card, which you can see right off to the right. We'll read that in a second. When this card's played, choose up to 1 Koitsukai, 1 Panchea, and 1 Bullerator, all red from your hand, battle area, and or drop, and place them under this card. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, this card gains barrier. So that is another way to, again, stack those minus 10Ks, stack that power boost, because you're able to, again, put those different permanent little droids underneath this thing. Activate main limit 1 for 2 red, place 3 cards from under this card in the owner's drop, and place 1 Pepperoni card from your hand or battle area in the owner's drop, and then play 1 anti-Laza Z battle card from under this card, and place this card under the played card. So I'm pretty sure the stack of this whole Koichirator card will follow under the anti-Laza Z battle card. If I'm wrong there, definitely feel free to correct me in the comments, but that would put a lot of materials under your anti-Laza, which would definitely, again, buff its power pretty big time. All right, so we have anti-Laza Dimension Bender. We have 4-drop, 3 Z energy, but with the Z stack on Koichirator, you're probably not going to pay that specific cost very often. We have Deflect Double Strike. When this card's played, draw 1, place 1 Pepperoni, 1 Koitsukai, 1 Panchea, and 1 Bullerator, all red from your battle area and or drop under this card, and this card gains barrier for the turn. So there are a lot of ways to manipulate what goes under each of your different boss cards, although the question just becomes like how many of those different cards you actually have in your drop by the time you're ready to actually play these things. That might be not as many as we think, but still, I mean, it is nice that there is a lot of ways to trigger those minus 10Ks and to get value out of those permanents to give this thing additional power. Auto once per turn when this card attacks. For every 2 cards under this card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards or unisons. It gets minus 30k for the turn. So I think minimum you're going to have 4 cards under this, and it does also seem, again, pretty easy to get some more cards under it. So that might be as much as like minusing 3 or 4 things by 30k every single turn. Then we have Activate Main once per turn. Place 1 red U3 card from your hand under this card. Additionally, there are 6 or more cards under this card. This card gains dual attack for the turn. Now, sadly, that auto on attack is once per turn, so you're not going to be able to do that twice. But again, swinging this thing dual attack for maybe like 35k, maybe even 40k, that doesn't seem too bad. I like that this thing's protected for the turn with barrier, the turn that it's played, but then like later on it's not as safe, and it probably takes you a little bit of time to get the 6 cards under this. unless you have the correct combos to do it all in one turn, if that's possible. So yeah, not a bad card, and I do like the fact that it basically gets cheated out with Koichi. You know, I guess you would play Koichi on like a turn 2 or turn 3, and then Anilaza the turn following, and only pay 2 energy for it. And now for the final couple cards, we'll start with Pepperoni, the Brains of U3. 1-drop 4K Deflect. When this card's played, draw 1. Activate main limit 1 for a red. If your leader is a red U3 card, you have 4 or more energy, and you choose 1 red Koichi in your battle area and place it under this card. Draw 1 card and play 1 red Anilaza from your hand on top of this card in active mode. So you can take that whole stack and then put it on this guy, and then you can play Anilaza, Universe 3's ultimate weapon. We have 8-drop 25k, but again, remember those are permanents that can buff this guy's power. So even though it's 825, it doesn't actually usually come out that weak. Then we have triple attack, EX Evolve limit 1 for 3 red. If your leader's a red U3 card, your opponent has 3 or more energy. A red Koichi with an original power of 15k, which I believe was the main deck card and not the Z battle card. Okay, so it'd have to go specifically over the main deck one, which makes it a little bit less flexible. But anyways, permanent. While a red Koichi is under this card can attack battle cards in active mode. And then we have auto limit 1. If your leader's a red U3 card, your opponent has 4 or more life. When this card attacks an opponent's battle card, deal 1 damage to your opponent. That's kind of interesting. I mean, you can burn them down to 3 life, which is not the worst thing. It's kind of like the same as Defender of Life, the Z battle card SS4 Goku. And this is triple attack, so you can potentially attack at 3 active mode battle cards. It's not quite the same board wiping effect as like Gogeta Triumphant Together, but it is something, and it does also deal a burn damage, which is kind of interesting, I guess. And then Pepperoni's Tactical Orders. 1 cost, activate main. If your leader is a red U3 card, choose 1 Anilaza or Koichi, both red in your battle area. Place up to 2 red U3s with energy cost of 3 or less from your drop under the chosen card. So more ways to stack the different boss cards you want to and get those various effects off. But again, this always has a problem of being an extra card, which is probably not going to see play in any competitive version of the deck. But thematically, it is cool. So overall, we've read all the cards. Man, these things were an absolute mouthful. This felt like the most reading I've done in a long time, even though I'm sure most of the cards have similar amount of text. I think it's just all the costs and weird restrictions that make it harder to read. But yeah, this archetype, one thing I didn't notice, any like non-color restricted effects. So for the most part, unfortunately, no former U3 support is going to be playable in this deck. That is always unfortunate. It would have been kind of cool if they allowed for this to be like a red-black deck. That would have actually been really neat. But anyways, this stuff doesn't seem so great when we at least compare to Sin and Gogeta, which themselves are struggling to do well in this format. We saw Sin and Gogeta do really well in like the European Zenkai events, but not so well on the American side of things. So I think with the Vegas LCQ, we'll really see where red stands in the current format. But without some serious hits to some other stuff, I don't think this deck can really succeed all that well. I could be wrong, but the boss cards just aren't really oppressive enough, and there's not really great defense in red to justify playing any sort of slower strategy. So if you're not fast enough, if you're not hitting hard enough, red just might not cut it in that specific archetype. But anyways, guys, I do want in the comments below what you think about this. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.